Hello friends, welcome again. Friends, in today's video lecture, we want to discuss As You Like It, which is the most popular romantic comedy written by William Shakespeare. Friends, there is no need to introduce such a great dramatist as William Shakespeare. Shakespeare, who lived during the Elizabethan age, 16th century, is considered as the most dominant literary personality of his age. And he has been popular particularly for his four great tragedies Hamlet, Macbeth, King Lear, and Othello. But apart from tragedies, he has also written many popular comedies which are known as typical Shakespearean comedies, which are different from other comedies, and one of them is As You Like It. As I have told you in my previous video, when you write your answer for your examination purpose, remember you have to begin your introduction with some quotation. As you can see on the screen, I have taken these three poetic lines, for William Shakespeare, where the poet says, but Shakespeare lives unrivaled still. Unrivaled means Shakespeare has no rivals. He has no enemies as far as writing drama is concerned. The giant of Parnassus Hill. Now this Parnassus Hill is actually a mythological reference. Okay, there is a hill, there is a mountain. So Shakespeare is a gigantic personality. He is a huge mountain in the field of English literature, the pride, the monarch of mankind. William Shakespeare is the pride of mankind. He is the monarch. Monarch means the king of mankind. So, all throughout the world, William Shakespeare has been loved and respected as the most important dramatist of English literature. Not only this, Shakespeare has been considered as the father of English tragedy, and he has written many comedies like Much Ado About Nothing, like A Midsummer Night's Dream, Merchant of Venice, As You Like It, and all these are the gems of English literature. Shakespearean romantic comedy, friends, is very much different from other types of comedies. In my previous videos, I have discussed comedy of humors, comedy of manners, sentimental comedy, even Shakespearean romantic comedy. So when you compare the comedies of Shakespeare with the comedies of other writers, you will find a sharp, huge difference between them. So that we are going to discuss in today's video lecture. But before that, you must be clear about the general notion of comedy. I mean, you must be clear about what a comedy is. Horace Walpole has rightly said that life is a comedy to those who think and a tragedy to those who feel. So that means what? Tragedy appeals our emotions, our heart, and comedy appeals our brain, our intelligence, our wit, our thoughts. Okay, generally it is believed that comedy is a play which deals with very light scenes and situations of everyday life. Okay, no serious matters are presented in comedy, and such light situations and scenes, they must be able to arouse laughter, arouse humor among the audience. That is known as a comedy. Okay, generally, comedy appeals our mind, our intelligence, and it exposes, mostly a comedy exposes the weaknesses of the society, the evils of the society. समाज में जो कुछ भी बुराइयां हैं उनको एक्सपोज करने का काम कॉमेडी करती है. But Shakespeare's romantic comedy is very much different. How that we are going to discuss, because Shakespeare's As You Like It, which is a very popular drama, a comedy, it does not appeal our intelligence, but it appeals our heart. Moreover, William Shakespeare never wrought this comedy As You Like It to expose the human weaknesses or to expose the evils of the society. So generally comedy, it is believed that it exposes, it satirizes the politicians, the weak sides of the society. But Shakespeare never exposes anyone. Shakespeare never targets the human beings in his comedy. His comedy is congenial, his comedy, his laughter, his humor is sympathetic, innocent kind of humor. Shakespeare's concept of comedy is totally different. He presents the imaginative scenes of the forest of Arden. If you read As You Like It, you come across that most of the scenes are taking place in the forest of Arden, which is a place of love, which is a place of fools, which is a place of romance, which is a place of clowns and magic and songs. Okay, so these things make his comedy As You Like It as the most fanciful and the most delightful comedy among all other comedies of English literature. What are the important features of Shakespearean romantic comedies that we are going to discuss one by one, and we are going to examine all these elements in As You Like It. So the first one is that in all Shakespeare's comedies, we find that he takes us into an imaginative world. Okay, so there is no touch of realism. The world which is presented, the scenes which are presented, the setting which is presented on the stage is totally imaginative. Okay, so here what do we see? We see that in As You Like It, Shakespeare begins the scene. The first scene begins with the palace of Rosalind. But after that first scene, all these characters are taken into the magical forest of Arden. The forest of Arden is what? This forest is the product of Shakespeare's fertile and imaginative brain. If you examine the map of Europe, map of England, you will never find such a beautiful place as Forest of Arden. So it is totally an imagination. Most of the actions of As You Like It, they take place here in this imaginative forest of Arden. The four lovers like Rosalind, Celia, Orlando and Oliver, they are taken into this magical world, from the ugliness of the real world. So this is the principal characteristic of Shakespearean comedies, that he takes us into a remote place, he takes us into a farther place which is totally imaginative. Another thing which is important to note here is the element of realism. You know, though his setting, the places, the situations are imaginative, but still there is the touch of realism. So, though it is imagination, we are never away from reality in Shakespeare's comedies. In fact, there is a nice blending, there is a nice mixture of realism and romanticism in all his comedies. If you examine As You Like It, you will find that Shakespeare presents the romance and love of Rosalind and Orlando in an imaginative world of Forest of Arden, but Shakespeare never escapes from the realities of life. So he presents these lovers, four lovers, as facing the hard realities of life. Rosalind wanders around in the forest and she has to tolerate the winter and rough weather, the thorny paths and all these things, which we commonly experience in our real life. Okay, so that means what? There is a blending, there is an amalgamation, there is a mixture of realism and romanticism. So, As You Like is not merely a fanciful or romantic comedy. You can say that real human emotions, real human struggle, and the ugliness of the practical life, they are equally given importance in his comedy, and that's why we can say that there is a touch of realism in As You Like It. Allardyce Nicole, an important critic of Shakespeare, has also rightly said that this is the cardinal characteristic. Cardinal means the most important characteristic of Shakespeare's comedy. Which one? The union of reality and fantasy. Fantasy means imagination. Okay, the third important element of Shakespearean comedies is element of humor. Friends, we can understand that no comedy can exist without humor. Humor is the heart and soul of Shakespearean comedies. And in this drama, As You Like It, also we find sympathetic humor, sympathetic laughter. It is considered, in fact, as the most mirthful, happiest comedy ever written by any other writers of English literature. Here, Shakespeare has introduced the character of touchstone, which amuses the audience. Touchstone not only provides the element of laughter and humor, he also becomes a link, a beautiful link between the main plot and the subplot. Okay, so touchstone, an important character who creates humor and laughter. With touchstone, there is another character, Jax. Okay, they become the inevitable part, the most important parts of this play. Why? Because they are very useful for the creation of light atmosphere and happy ending of the play. The fourth important feature of Shakespearean romantic comedy is the role of women. You know, Ruskin, an important critic of Shakespeare, has rightly said that Shakespeare has no heroes, he has only heroines. So he means to say that when we read Shakespeare's comedies, we do not find male characters as most important, but we find females as the most important characters. And that's why Ruskin said that he has no heroes, he has only heroines. In this play, As You Like It, also, Rosalind and Celia, they come out as the leading personalities of this play. It is the woman who becomes the focus of attention in all his plays, Shakespeare's plays. You know, if the character of Rosalind is taken out of the drama, just imagine that there is no character like Rosalind in this play, then it would remain merely a skeleton. Then this play becomes less interesting. So Rosalind is the heroine of the drama, and she puts blood, she puts life into this play, and that's why Ruskin said that Shakespeare has no heroes, he has only heroines. Next important thing to note about Shakespearean romantic comedy is the element of love. Love is the central force of all Shakespearean comedies. Shakespeare has written sonnets, has written tragedies, has written romantic dramas, but the most important thing about his comedies is that in all his comedies, the central theme, central idea is love. Okay, As You Like It is also colored by this particular theme of love. That this drama, we know it is a story of love which culminates at the end of the play, it culminates into marriage at the end of the play. Here, the heroine and the hero, almost all characters in this play, they fall in love, they face some difficulties, they fight out the struggle, but at the end, they get married. So, love lives in the characters like Orlando, Rosalind, Celia, Oliver, Sylvius, Phoebe, touchstone, Audrey, all these are the lovers of this play, and that's why love is considered as the central theme, central idea of this play. Rosalind herself, speaks these lines, but why talk of father when there is such a man as Orlando? So Rosalind is so blindly in love with Orlando that she even forgets her father, right? So that is it. The last important topic is music, dance, and songs. Can you imagine a comedy without music and dance? No, right? Particularly when it is a drama written by William Shakespeare, you can never imagine that drama without music, dance, and songs. Shakespeare has very tactfully, intentionally introduced the element of music and dance in all his comedies. And As You Like It also, it sounds like the beats of the throbbing hearts. Can you hear your throbbing heart? Right? Beats of the heart. In the same manner, the songs, the rhythm, which you find here in the dialogues, that also makes your heart throbbing. There are infinite number of songs, many songs presented in the plays. Some of them are sung by Amiens and others are also sung by touchstone and jacks. Okay, so remember these three names: Amiens, touchstone, and jacks. They mostly sing some songs in this play which make this play a melodious play. One example I have taken here from Amiens. Amiens has sung this song in the play. Under the greenwood tree, who loves to live with me, come hither, come hither, come hither. Here he shall see no enemy. So kind of rhyming tree, me, and enemy. A. This is the rhyming scheme of this song. So such songs make Shakespeare's comedies the most melodious comedies. So all in all, what we can say is that Shakespeare has his own different concept of writing comedies, which is different from comedy of humor, comedy of manners, and sentimental comedy. Okay, so 16th century Elizabethan comedies, William Shakespeare, the most important dramatist, has innovated his own different style of writing comedies, and As You Like It is not an exception, and that's why we can say that As You Like It is a typical real Shakespearean romantic comedy of love. The theme of love, romance, the whole imaginative atmosphere of the forest of Arden. Still, there is touch of realism, infinite laughter, sympathetic laughter, no satire, no exposing evils of the society, and melodious songs, music and dance. All these things come together to make his comedy, Shakespearean romantic comedy, the most loved comedies of this world. At the end, we can quote George Gordon. George Gordon is a critic. He has rightly concluded that Shakespearean comedies are large hearted in their conception. Conception means in their formation, sympathetic in the tone. So there is sympathy in the tone. There is no satire in Shakespeare's comedies, and humanitarian in their idealism. So Shakespearean comedies are having a different conception, okay, large hearted conception, sympathy is there, and humanitarian approach is also found in all his comedies. As You Like It is one of them. So friends, I hope the idea is clear, and if you have really liked this video, please share this among your friends and classmates. Thank you very much.